Clash is for sale, and I'm going to be buying it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new Slot Me Up video. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and in today's video we're going to be covering the unforeseen, unforetold changes and updates in Creator Clash that nobody expected. I did not expect it. I thought I'd be done with Creator Clash by now, but apparently not. In my last video, I went over the following tweet: open letter to Creator Clash. I know I'm Keemstar and this may not seem legitimate, but as a long-time fan and viewer of Creator Clash, I'm very interested in buying what remains of the IP. This is a serious inquiry. Owners, please reach out to me for talks. And look, when I read out this initial tweet in my last video, I thought, look, I'm going to read it out, I'm just going to pad out the video. Realistically, nobody's going to buy Creator Clash. Why would you want to? It's got a huge tarnished reputation. It would be a bit funny, but I think we should honestly just leave it in the ground. But this story has constantly developed over this past several days since my last video on iDubbbz. Ollie then made a similar tweet kind of joking, parodying what Keemstar said by saying, open letter to Creator Clash. I know I'm not Keemstar, and this may not seem legitimate, but as a long-time fan and viewer of Creator Clash, I'm very interested in buying what remains of the IP. This is a serious inquiry. Owners, please reach out to me for talks. But it didn't just stop at like a copy pasta and a few fighters throwing their hat in the ring. Dad ended up making a short video to try and put his hat in the ring.
This is Nathan, aka Dad from Creator Clash. I've seen there's a conversation going on about buying Creator Clash. Harley is having, and Ethan is now putting his name in there. I
appreciate Nathan or Dad bringing that up, because that's another big thing, is that Ethan also threw his hat in the ring, which we are going to talk about after Dad, as Ethan spoke about it on stream.
Would genuinely like to be involved in this if possible. I do not have a lot of money, but I can invest something, hopefully, and get like a 0.001% on the ownership of the event, if possible. I would genuinely like to be involved in this if that's a thing. I love Creator Clash. I want to be a part of Creator Clash if it comes back.
Look, do I think it would be funny if, like, Ethan Klein, Keemstar, and some previous fighters of the Creator Clash events took over from iDubbbz and Goodwill Touring and did it better? Yeah, I think it would be genuinely hilarious, and there would be way more content for me if that's an endeavor they actually wanted to do. But at the same time, I just feel like the Creator Clash brand is so tarnished, especially for people that may not have been following the drama. You're going to hear Creator Clash, you may not have been following the controversies that iDubbbz has left, you may not have any idea of those details, and you might be, put off from actually buying tickets because of that name
in some way, and it'd be nice to be involved beyond just being a fighter. So, quick video, just putting my name out there. I'd love to be considered for this. Harley, I'll keep texting you, and maybe I can talk to Ethan or anyone who's talking about this. If this is a real conversation, I'd love to be a part of it.
Of course, like I said, and Dad said himself there, this conversation didn't stop there, because Ethan Klein ended up throwing his hat in the ring and actually spoke about it quite a bit on stream recently, which is something we're going to be covering right now.
So big news, guys. Creator Clash is for sale, and I'm going to be buying it.
Okay. How much of that statement is true?
Well, how much is Creator Clash worth?
Okay,
negative.
Start the conversation there. I mean, it very well may be worth some degree of negative equity.
Yeah.
Because they owe people money, and I don't think the brand is actually
buying
worth that much. So on net, yeah.
You might as well just make your own new IP.
Not only is it worth basically nothing, right? You could pay them $1 and I think they'd take it at this point. As well, it just comes with so much negative baggage you'd have to try and sift through, especially for the general audience, like I was saying earlier.
Right. So why are you doing that then?
Well, so here, the first offer came from Keemstar, and he got all of us thinking. Open letter to Creator Clash. I know I am Keemstar, in all caps, and this may not seem legit, but as a longtime fan and viewer of Creator Clash, I'm very interested in buying what remains of the IP. This is a serious inquiry. Owners, please reach out to me for talks. Now, I think he's being 100% serious.
You think so? You don't think he's memeing at all?
Yeah, because this is Keem's thing. He's like taking people's play buttons, so he's
Right.
Of course, I'm not dumb. There is, of course, a level of jokiness to this, like Harley making his tweet is just a clear parody of Keemstar's tweet. Some people are throwing their name in the ring because they just want to take the piss out of this and take a piss out of iDubbbz and Anissa, because it is a genuinely funny concept of buying their brand and doing it better than they ever could. But realistically, is anybody going to do this? Probably not, but it's a funny thing to just entertain for a piece of content. I do like that's where we're at for Creator Clash and iDubbbz content, is where people really aren't like ready to let it it go. People still want to bully and mock iDubbbz and Anissa into the ground. So this is where we're at, talking about buying Creator Clash.
I don't know how much money Keem has, but again, I don't know how much money this IP is worth. But this inspired me. I said, shit, if Keem's... I was like, what if me and Keem bought it together? But
You don't want to go into business with Keem.
No, but anyway, why go into business when you could buy it yourself? You know?
You know what? I'll co-buy it with you, Ethan.
All you need is like $5.
That's what I'm saying. Why not? I'll go 50-50 with you on it.
And then Dad, well, what happened next is I offered to buy it, which I'm assuming is in this album.
Yeah.
Tom Ward is offering to buy it. This is turning into an I Am Spartacus situation.
Yeah. Tom actually put forward a serious offer, though.
Yeah.
I said, I will buy Creator Clash. Owners reach out to me.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if someone did end up buying Creator Clash. Maybe not somebody like Keemstar, Ethan Klein. Of course, not somebody like Dad, because they can't necessarily afford Creator Clash, even if it's genuinely worth absolutely nothing. Probably worth like $5. Some content creators really can't afford it, but I won't be surprised if it does get moved around from company to company, to person, or it just gets shut down in its entirety. It's an absolute flight risk to have as a business.
Not wanting the headache of managing this mess.
An influencer boxing event?
Yeah,
probably not.
and then two, also, I don't know how many people would be lining up to fight for me. I think it's too hot. I think it's too hot of a topic.
Well, I feel like you don't have to make it be boxing. You could do like a poker thing, Creators Clash at
Actually, a good
poker.
point.
Oh, that's a great...
I mean, you
just
can make them
Clash.
clash at anything. You could just switch it up.
That
each
is
time,
a
right?
really good
Mario
point.
Kart tournament?
Doesn't like a necessarily bad idea either, right? You just pull up a live stream, you do Creator Clash as a charity live stream where all donations go to charity, but of course, nobody's making money from it because it's a live stream, and you play a game, right, where content creators go head to head. They don't need training, they don't need a bunch of food, so it isn't costing you any money, isn't costing them a heinous amount of money for months of training for boxing. You could easily do that, and it'd be affordable, and would probably be a good time for creators and viewers alike.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give him like maybe like, I don't know. What's it worth right now, you know?
Should I wait before or after he pays?
Yeah, you guys haven't got paid yet, right?
Yeah.
See, that's a bad
After,
sign.
after. Because then if I buy it, I'll just owe myself money.
Exactly.
But realistically, we could just do a new project and call it Creator War or like something else.
Well, maybe, yeah, you don't even need the class. I mean, it would
Yeah.
just be symbolically to shit on Ian and Anissa.
I do think is the funniest bit about this is just the idea of taking their baby, right? Whatever they've been calling it for the past several years, right? The project that Anissa poured her heart and soul into, doing it 10 times better, not owing creators a heinous amount of money, and not fucking over several charities. I think that's a funny concept, but ultimately it's not something anybody's gonna do. Like I've said this entire video, why would you want to buy Creator Clash? It's a complete flight risk to have. The general audience thinks it's genuinely dodgy as hell. You're not going to be able to change their image necessarily, especially with the general audience that may have no idea what's happened with the drama, who's bought it now. There is genuinely no like pluses of buying Creator Clash apart from memeing iDubbbz and Anissa to death.
I figured
Right.
that's what it's mostly about, yeah.
That is the only kind of benefit to this. And then I thought, well, let me go through these. After I tweeted this, Dad reached out to me and he was like, "Are you being serious? Because I want to get in on this."
Did he really?
And I was like, "Listen, Dad, I know I would bring you on if I was being serious,
This is Nathan.
but I don't think it'd be worth it for any of
At
us."
this point, if that was genuinely something that any of these people wanted to move forward with, you would just create your own thing. I saw somebody say that Keemstar should do a parody where it's Creator Clash, but instead of C's, it's with K's because of Keemstar, and I think that's a pretty funny concept, a pretty funny idea that I think I could see Keemstar possibly doing. But again, you've got that idea as well. If you say Creator Clash, you shouldn't be thinking of Keemstar's Creator Clash, you can be thinking of the one that never sent any money to charity.
It's nice. He's coming on a little
serious.
strong.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
I mean,
desperate.
I mean, the guy...
Just a little desperate.
The guy
Yeah.
clearly, you know...
He cares.
I think he cares, and he was more
But I know
committed to
he's
it than
bro-
Ian and Anissa.
Well, we were just talking about how broke he is. Like, what are you gonna give?
Well, he said he didn't have really like a
What are
lot.
you gonna give me? $10?
Well, the reality is I mean, we were kind of joking, but I don't think the IP is worth that much.
That's not necessarily going to be that harsh on Dad. I've said about his financials in this video, right, that it would be absolutely outlandish for him to genuinely put himself forward, but at the end of the day, he's genuinely someone who cares for Creator Clash, and you can see that in his content and the way he talks about the brands. I'm not going to dog all over him for it.
Numbers down.
Yeah.
I feel left out. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. I could put down 500, maybe 250 on a monthly payment until it's paid off. Honestly, better than nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the first serious offer.
I would pay like upwards to like 50,000 for the opportunity to own it, just to shit on Ian and Anissa.
Well, you shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, you're showing your
Should've
cards,
brought it
bro.
up.
Well, no, I'm not willing. I'm not negotiating. You know what I mean?
But look, in conclusion, and ultimately, is anybody actually planning on buying Creator Clash? Most likely not. Why would you want to own that sack of shit? It's absolutely worth nothing. Is it a funny idea and has it given me another slot video and another thing to just talk about Creator Clash and talk about iDubbbz and Anissa's failings with Creator Clash and them creating the most indestructible, disgusting, like toxic waste brand on the planet? Yes. Yes, it has. And everybody watching, please feel free to comment down below your thoughts on all of this. And now here's a play. If there is any topic that you would like me to cover, like me to research, please feel free to comment it down below. At the moment, we are going for a bit of a slop drow. I know we've just come off the back of a couple of big situations and a couple of big videos, but at the moment, not too much is going on, so please feel free to comment down maybe situations you want me to take a look into, maybe cover, even if they are a little bit old, I will happily go and do that. I did that most recently with the George Not Found stuff, and I did enjoy that. So please feel free to do that down below, and once you're done, then you must subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. But I've been your host, Samuel, and I will catch you in the next YouTube video. Goodbye.